Hello and welcome along to Adobe After Effects with your host Robert Smith. In this part 4 of creating a basic slideshow, we're going to actually add the images. So to do that, I'm inside the slides com, and I've put this part in this little type teaser like this. Okay, now to bring the files in, I've put them into a layered Photoshop file. They could come in as separate files. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to double click over here until I find the one I'm after, which is slides.psd, which is this one here. And I'll just go down to there. It's the one I want. And just double click on that. Import it as a composition. Okay, it's all good. Okay, as you can see now, I've got a new folder and I've got a composition called Slides 2, which I don't really need. So I'm going to get rid of that Slides 2, like that. But it will keep all my slide layers. There they are, so I can now use those. So to do that, what I need to do is work out where they should start. So they should start about here as those two words disappear like that. So I'm going to grab these layers. Select the top one, hold the shift key down and just drag straight down here onto the timeline, and I might as well close these layers up while I'm there. Okay, so I wanted to start about here, and I've only got 4 slides. You can have up to about 6 or 8. Now I want to put these layers where this current time indicator is. So to do that, I'm just going to hold the shift key down and drag to the right like that, and it will snap when it gets to where the current time indicator is. Okay, fantastic. Now I'm going to do all of these layers at once, but we'll only see the effect on one. But if I've got them all selected, all the keyframes will be added to each layer. So that's really good. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to select all those layers, or make sure they're selected, which they are. Press the letter S for scale, like that. And then I'm going to hold the Shift key down and go Shift T to get my opacity up as well. So I might just fit up to 100% is what we want. Okay, now let's get to keyframing. So what we really want to do is to sort of fade them in and scale them up. Now how to do that? We actually want to go along our timeline about a second, about that much like this, and we want to put a keyframe in scale and opacity. And you'll notice, because I've clicked on one, it happens to all the layers like that. And that's what we want them to look like after about a second of transition. Okay, now to get back to the start of this, or the end points of these layers, because it's not back at the beginning of the video, it's about 2.5 seconds in, I'm going to press the letter I, and that'll take my playback head to the start of that layer. Okay, so here I am. I'm going to now just grab my scale and drag it back to 0, or it's probably just double click and type in 0 like that. So away it goes, and my opacity the same. I'll just type in 0 there. Okay, so it's going to go from 0 scale and 0 opacity up to 100%, just like that. That's exactly what we want. Great. Now we need to see them on the stage for about 1.5 seconds so we can check them out. So I'll move along the timeline a little bit like that, and then I'm going to go over here and add some manual keyframes for scale and opacity. So really nothing's going to happen between here and here. They've done the little transition on like this, then nothing. And then I need to get rid of them the same way. To do that, I'm just going to move along a little bit like this, and I'm going to scale them up to about 350, 360% like that, and drop the opacity back to 0. So that as they enlarge, they'll fade out, just like that. Okay, looking good. That's what we want to do. So now I'll just close up those layers. Before I do that, I'll add some easing to it just to make it a bit more professional. So if I drag a marquee over all those keyframes, I'll go to Animation, Keyframe Assistant, will Easy Ease. Okay, and I just might quicken that up a bit by grabbing these keyframes, just dragging and just dragging to the left like that. Maybe drag these to the right just a little bit like that, so it happens just a little bit quicker. So let's have a look at our work. If I press this like that, away it goes. Great. That goes. The first one comes in. Second one. Okay, now you'll only see the first one, of course, because that's the top layer. You only see what's happening there. I just think it's happening a little bit late. Now make sure all your layers are selected. I'm going to move these layers to the left just a little bit like that. So it starts to happen a little bit quicker, maybe even just a bit more to the left like that. Okay, great. Now I can close up those layers like this, and now it's just a matter of sequencing those layers one after the other. So we'll just start with the bottom layer. We'll just grab this and move that to about there, this to about here, and this to about here. Now these are very rough at this stage. We're not really sure how far we have to go. It's getting a little bit messy there, so I'll just leave that there, that layer. Let's have a look what we've got. So in it comes, up it comes, the first one, and as it goes away the second one comes in. Good. That's what we want. I think this one here could move to the left just a little bit like that, so it happens just a little bit quicker. Like that. Okay, great. The next one's coming in. Up it comes. And away it goes. The next one comes in. I need to move along our timeline a bit. And grab this top layer and drag it to the right just a little bit. Okay, let's have a look. So if up it comes, check this out. First one comes up, we have a look at it. Second one comes up, we have a look at that too. Third one, and the fourth one. That's exactly what we want. So let's just zoom back out a bit so we can see where all that finishes. All that finishes about, I might just drag that to the right a bit. That all finishes about there, like that. Okay, and then it goes away at about this point here. So that's all we really need in our composition as that goes away to about that point there. So what I want to do, I want to trim my composition now to that point. To do that, I'm going to place my current time indicator, this thing here, just there, and press the letter N like that. And let's watch that loop. If I go back to the start, away it goes. Great. Next one stays there. You can keep them as long as you like on stage, but I think that's about a good time. Now that needs to come across a little bit, that last one. It was a bit slow. So I'll just drag that to there. Maybe just a little bit that way. Okay, I'm really happy with that slideshow. That's the actual slides themselves. Okay, I'm going to trim that comp by holding the control key down and clicking in this area here, this work area, and trim comp to work area. So now if I look over here, my project window, I've got my slides, I've got my intro, and I've got my final. Okay, all I need to do is make an outro now and put it all together. And we'll do that in the next movie. Okay, thanks for watching.